Hey everybody, this is Jotara from Less QQ, More Pew Pew. We're back with another video. This time we're tackling Festergut in 10-man Icecrown Citadel. Festergut has 9.4 million health in the 10-man version and has a 5-minute enrage timer. This fight has two technical phases, but they don't have a hard transition. They slowly go from one stage to another. The first stage, when the fight starts, has the ground covered in 3 layers of blight. This blight deals raid-wide nature damage, and the boss hits, pretty normal, nothing out of the ordinary that people really need to be concerned about if you have a tank that's geared appropriately for tanking, Icecrown Citadel bosses. As the fight progresses, Festergut will inhale these layers of blight. Each layer he inhales reduces the damage the raid takes, but increases the damage he does to the tank. Each layer will cause him to attack 30% faster and hit 30% harder. So after he inhales that third stack, he has no raid damage other than the tanks that he's hitting 90% faster, 90% harder. After a while, after he's inhaled that last layer of blight, he will exhale, causing raid-wide explosion, which will pretty much one-shot anybody in the raid, unless you are getting the stacking debuff from the spores. The spores are things that he casts on 2 members of the raid throughout the fight. Think of them like spores from Lotheb. They appear over somebody's head for 12 seconds. If you're in the range, you need to group up with the person that has the range spore, because after they blow up, they give you a debuff. And this debuff will reduce the damage you take from that explosion to prevent you from getting killed when he does it. As you can see, we have a spore over one of our range members' heads right now. Also, he will randomly choose a person to target with Vile Gas. Vile Gas will make you throw up for just 3 or 4 seconds. You spin around, flail your arms, and then you can go back to DPSing. It's important for your range to be spread out farther than, I believe, 8 to 10 yards, because it will actually chain to other members of your raid. That's why most of your healers will probably be stacking in melee range, as long as you have enough people at range to be viable targets for this Vile Gas. After he exhales, the blight covers the ground again, and it goes back to heavy raid damage and a lot less tank damage. As the fight progresses, your tanks are going to get a stacking debuff called Gastric Bloat. This Gastric Bloat increases their damage by 10% per stack, but if they receive 10 stacks of it, they blow up immediately. If ands or buts about it. That's why your tanks will be switching at 9 stacks, and then your first tank will stop attacking or do something to wipe threat, because if they attack and pull aggro back, they have a chance of getting that 10th stack, and you won't have a tank to switch back to. As he receives that third inhale and your tanks get ready to switch, your healers and tanks will be chaining cooldowns to make sure your tanks don't get killed from that increased damage that he does, and things will go back to normal after he exhales. This fight is about as close as you're going to get to a patchwork style fight in Icecrown Citadel from at least the bosses that we've seen before. It really gives you a chance to showcase your DPS and show off all the pretty numbers that you can put out with the new gear that you've picked up. Like I said, it's less than 5 minutes because of the hard enrage. So if you're survival, feel free to, you're only going to get 1 rapid fire. Use it whenever you feel it's most appropriate. Marksmanship, feel free to blow your cooldowns early, because you'll get them up a little over halfway through the fight. The encounter's really not that difficult as long as your raid can make sure people are getting their debuff and your tanks are communicating and knowing when to taunt. And if you can do that, you can get yourself a Festergut kill and move on to Rotface. As always, thanks for watching the video, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them on the blog at QQPewPew.com or leave them on YouTube. Thanks for watching.